Before dusk, all rigs were refreshed and deployed. My Spanish paste bombs went on both of my rods. And Bob banged chorizo hook baits on 2 of his rods. Would these new twigs give us an extra edge? And would my childhood chorizo dream come true?
Unfortunately, it's not a chorizo.
God, Dazzler.
Oh, that might be a little.
Was it not on the chorizo, no?
No, unfortunately not. That looks all right, though.
Well, mate, you're catching all of the chorizzos. I'm making up the numbers. I'm becoming a good spectator. I'm enjoying it, though. Yes.
Oh, how is
go on, Bob.
Yeah. Chorizo crazy. £9 2 and another chorizo barbel for me. I am absolutely loving Spain. Feel sorry for him over the other side, though.
The Dazzler was again living up to his name.
Adios.
I was praying that I got at least one chance of fulfilling my childhood dream.
I finally got a bite on the paste. Is this my first ever chorizo barbel? I'm going to just put the torch on just to see. Laugh, it's a carp, Bob. Oh, it's a bigger one, Bob. It's a chorizo. It's bigger, isn't it? That's much bigger. Is it carp or chorizo?
Chorizo, mate.
That's a bigger one.
Yeah.
Oh, my life. I didn't feel I was going to get one, you know. I thought I was going to have to start running down river and looking.
It was in close and about to reveal itself.
Oh, it's a carp. It's a carp. It's a carp. You couldn't odds it, Bob. Oh, you absolute duffer. I thought I had the biggest chorizo in the history of my life. The only one. Oh, you couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it up, Bob. You couldn't make it up. Now, there's not many times you could call a king carp a nuisance fish. Ah, no. Well, it is the biggest chorizo in the river, right, that's gone to a fancy dress party as a common carp. Hey, look at that. Wicked. Absolutely buzzing, mate. Right, time to take that costume off, yeah? Sweet.
At least the pace was working.
Well, I'm into the fish. I'm hoping for a chorizo.
But it was another carpio.
Not exactly what I wanted, but the chorizo has got me a lovely Spanish common.
What'd you say you called it on, Bob?
Chorizo.
Just double-checking. Bobby had now caught 4 chorizo to my zilchio. All the barbels seemed to be coming from downstream, getting to Bob's rigs first and not getting to my area. With one night left, I felt my childhood ambition was slowly slipping away, but I had a plan.
Adios, amigo.
Heading downstream, are you, pal?
I'm heading somewhere.
Have a good one, pal. Good luck,
Yeah,
mate.
I'm just going to try not to catch your line. Oh. And...
Go as far as you like. Out to sea, for all I care. I hope he catches. Otherwise, he's going to be a nightmare.
Me? A nightmare? Never. I was heading about 700 metres downstream of Bob to a swim on the bend of the river. This was supposedly another notorious chorizo area, but also for carp. It had a lovely reed-lined far margin that just screamed fish to me. I wasted no time getting the rod sorted. For speed and less disturbance, I utilised my bait boat. I was going to use 3 rods with my special Spanish paste on all of them. 2 rigs were deployed close to the far margin, with a third nearer to the centre of the river in deeper water next to an underwater snag.
Ah, time's ticking. Bobby, the man who didn't even know what a chorizo barbel was before he got here, leaves with a bundle of them, and me, currently, could be leaving empty-handed with a fish I've always dreamt of catching. That would be sad, wouldn't it? Would be a sad tale.
Zamo, on the other hand, was loving life and was doing what the Spanish do best, having a siesta.
I am desperate for him to catch one. We've obviously come a long, long way. It's been hard work. Him getting up every bite I've had as well in the night, so he's very, very tired. I'm desperate for him to catch and really don't want him to blank.
A little over 12 hours now remained before we had to pack up and head to our next destination. This night would be Camitso or bust for me.
Camitso? Yeah. Yes, it's a big one. That is big. Is it a carp or a Camitso? Carp. Ah, no.
Would you, Adam and Eve? How is your luck?
Well, for someone who loves carp fishing, I've never been so disappointed to catch a carp. Another golden deceiver.
Close but no cigaro. Was that my last chance gone?
Gonna be another common, no doubt.
Sadly, not a Camitso, but it was something new for me. My first ever Spanish mirror carp.
What a fine thing. Bobby hasn't had one of them.
I popped her in the sling to show off to Bob once it was late. That was the final fish caught on the Guadiana, and my boyhood dream had burst. Bob had smashed it, though, with 4 Camitso, and I'd caught a rare Spanish mirror, so every cloud and all that. And what a beauty of a mirror carp it was, too. It weighed in at a very respectable 23 pounds and 12 ounces.
My first mirror carp from España.
First mirror cut from Spain?
Yeah. It's bittersweet, bro. You know.
Yeah.
You know how much that meant to me, that Camitso, don't you?
Yeah, but listen, mate, we're here together. I'll tick the box for us. So I'm the Camitso king. You certainly are the carp king.
Ah, there you go. Well, it has been a lovely, lovely experience on the Guadiana. But a small little kick in the El Nados of Hamidi.
So for me, a real success. Enjoyed it, caught a good few Camitso. Just didn't catch a Camitso on the chorizo. Instead, I caught a carp on that.
A gutter to not catch one, but 100% I'll be back, desperate to catch one of these Camitso barbel.
I'd have to put the Camitso return on ice for now, as we were about to head off on the next part of our current Spanish grand fishing adventure. Our first Spanish mission had been a 50% success, with Bob banking 4 Camitso to £14.
Ah, mate, absolutely chuffed. I didn't actually think it was that big.
But I only managed to catch carp.
Now, there's not many times you could call a king carp a nuisance fish.
But carp were ironically going to be our next target species, and we were en route now.
Oh, we're going carp fishing.
We're going carp fishing.
On a lake?
On a lake.
Are you happy?
In Spain.
I like it, Bob. I like it when you're excited.
Just through these Spanish lanes was a lake that was the centrepiece to the town of Mérida. Lake Proserpina. Created by the Romans in the 1st or 2nd century after they built an impressive dam which still survives today. This is the oldest Roman reservoir in Spain. And it's home to some big Spanish carp. The exact stock numbers are unknown, but apparently the average size anglers catch is around the mid-20-pound mark, and mainly commons. But carp have been caught up to 60 pounds, and the rare mirrors it holds are stunning too. Our mission here would be to both catch a carp over 30 pounds, a tough challenge in early winter. We needed to set up camp quickly, as the evening was fast approaching. Never fear, I had a trick up my sleeve. time is ticking. We have the very large white unicorn of tackle, and that white unicorn has now given me magical powers whilst we've been in Spain. I'm not joking, mate, right? What would you say if now I've developed these magical powers, if I was to say abracadabra and all of our stuff magically appeared all set up?
No, no chance. You have certainly had too many sangria.
Abracadabra! Told you, didn't I?
Mate, that is magic.
The fishing part, I haven't got any magic sorted for that there. We have to manually put the rods together and set some rigs up.
I didn't realise Ali had David Blaine powers. But hopefully he can sprinkle a little bit of magic on me and we can catch a few big 30s. I tell you what, I couldn't add a few more degrees as well. It's freezing.
It is nippy. Obviously, it was the next day. My magic took about 12 hours to work. The lake here, we were told, had many snags and boulders, so we first switched to braided mainline and snag leaders. Next, on to the business end, the rigs. We were both going for the same tried and tested big carp tactics.
On all 3 rods, I'll be using a spinner rig. So this little pop-up will sit up just off the bottom. Hopefully, a big greedy carp will come along and gobble it up.
The only difference with my rigs, I was using a slightly bigger hook, as carp in lakes with hard, rocky bottoms tend to have tougher mouths. Bob was going to fish on the left of the double swim. The locals said the area near the dam wall was a carp hotspot, but Bob needed to avoid the underwater snags, so using his sonar on the boat would be vital.
It is a hard bottom, so sandy bottom with big boulders here, there and everywhere. So it's a case of finding our spot in and amongst those rocks and fishing effectively.
Bobby deployed 2 rods near to the dam on clear spots, with the 3rd just off to the right in open water. Several handfuls of boilies were scattered around each rod. All of Bob's traps were now set. I went looking for a spot at around 200 metres, an apparent clear area in about 20 foot, just off the back of a rocky patch on the lake bed. Once I'd located it, I dropped a marker pole to mark the spot.
Ali's having to avoid the rowers out there this morning. It's all go.
Next, about 5 kilos of iso-sweetened cell boilies, whole and crushed, plus maize and tiger nuts were spread around the area. 2 of my rigs were dropped close to the marker, with the 3rd 20 metres or so off to the right. Everything was now locked and loaded. Bring on the Spanish 30-pounders.